How many of you like dragons? I like dragons too. How many of you think of dragons as kind of scary? We do taste good with pleasure. How many of you think of dragons as magical? Dragons can be scary and magical at the same time. Sure. I have a story about a different kind of dragon. This is a friendly dragon. And the name of this story, some of you may have heard it, is called The Green and Gracious Dragon. Once there was a green and gracious dragon. And the dragon lived everywhere, all the time. They were gentle and kind and loving and jolly. And they had a very special job. Being everywhere all the time is very special. One part of their job was to give peace to grown-ups so that the grown-ups would not worry when their children played far from home. Now, the grown-ups here, when your children are playing and you can't quite see where they are, do you get a little worried? Even if you know they're somewhere safe?
Yeah.
Yes, we all do. And in this world, the green and gracious dragon helped those children stay safe, because the other part of the green and gracious dragon's job was to watch over the children wherever they went. Because, as we remember, the green and gracious dragon is everywhere, all the time. The green and gracious dragon knew how to do both jobs at once, being everywhere all the time. And the green and gracious dragon could change into all kinds of happy places. And they did. They became wide, waving fields. Do you have a wide, waving field? You do. The green and gracious dragon would become a wide, waving field where children would run after butterflies and fly their kites and watch the sky and have picnics in the grass. The green and gracious dragon became a wonderful climbing tree. Is that not the best wonderful climbing tree
Oh my goodness.
you could ever imagine?
I'd break an arm for that.
The green and gracious dragon, when the children were tired of climbing a wonderful climbing tree, turned into rolling hills for hiking, for sledding, not for cow tipping, although there are cows in these hills, and looking out and playing imaginary games. Can you imagine playing some imaginary games in this beautiful landscape?
Yeah.
I certainly can. And when the children were tired, the green and gracious dragon would become great bushes that hung over and made wonderful secret hiding places to rest. The green and gracious dragon's favorite place to turn into was a brook nook. This is a new word term for me. I had never heard of it. A brook nook. What is a brook nook? This is a brook nook. It is a place where a brook bends. And when it does this, it slows down. And where it slows down to make that turn, the brook is extra deep. You might call these a swimming hole. So just around the bend is a deep, slow, private place. It is wonderful for swimming. There are smooth pebbles on the bottom, and little fish to nibble your toes, and whirly-gigs. And it is called a brook nook. I would love to be there. The green and gracious dragon loved to be there. Children love to be there too. The green and gracious dragon transformed into all these cool, beautiful places where children love to go. Then the green and gracious dragon would just lie there, all quiet and gentle, watching over the children as they climbed. They gave the children beauty and good ideas and creative dreams. And even though the children did not recognize the green and gracious dragon, each one loved the green and gracious dragon just the same. And the green and gracious dragon loved the children and kept them safe. Grown-ups, who sometimes knew of the green and gracious dragon, didn't worry about their children. Have a good time, they would say, knowing that the green and gracious dragon would be there, everywhere, all the time. And the children were free to go, because the grown-ups knew the green and gracious dragon would be watching over them. And there will never come a time when the dragon falls asleep, or simply sleep. It will be everywhere, all the time. I love this story. It's kind of a mysterious thing, isn't it? How can a green and gracious dragon be everywhere all the time? But I wonder if you have ever been to any places like these, where you felt safe and creative and secure. I wonder if the green and gracious dragon watches over us grown-ups, too. I kind of hope so. I wonder what other places we could find the dragon in our own lives. I also wonder, when we are in places that are not as happy, if the green and gracious dragon is there too. I'll leave you with these questions, and maybe you can talk about them with your family later today. Before we go to our classes and return to the remainder of our service, please join me in singing our centering